Quentin, great to see you, sir.
I appreciate it.
And look, you deliver another love letter to the Western genre. Why do you love this genre so much?
Oh, it's just a fun genre. I've always been a big fan of Westerns. Like the Virginian and Bonanza, Gunsmoke. One of the things that was interesting about those shows in particular is the ones that I like to watch are usually ones that have guest stars that I'm a big fan of. But the thing that was interesting about these guest stars, like Vic Morrow or James Coburn or any of these fellas, when they would show up, is these guest stars would show up, the story would be about them, and there was an unknown quality about them.
They're always a stranger that comes into the situation. You don't quite
mysterious.
Yeah, mysterious. You don't quite know what's going on.
Right.
At some point, a dark, complicated past is revealed about the character.
You're right.
Does he know how famous you once was?
I don't think so.
You would learn something about their past. They had an interesting, shady, controversial past of some kind.
Do you know who he is?
Do I know about the $30,000 reward the Confederacy put on the head of Major Marquis? Yeah.
And you didn't know how true the story was that you heard or not true the story was you heard. But you didn't really know about them.
And you actually almost have to watch the entire episode to see if the guy is a good guy or a bad guy.
You know what?
Well, no, the idea, though, was the idea, okay, let me do a movie that stars nothing but those guys.
So who are you? The character I play is particularly paranoid about what might be going on here that he doesn't want. But it doesn't mean he's crazy.
John Ruth, the hangman, catches you. You hang.
He became John Ruth the moment that he spoke at that table reading a year ago.
I don't drink with rebel renegades, and I damn sure don't break bread with them.
Well, Mr. Ruth, you sound like you got an axe to grind against the cause.
He's not necessarily the smartest guy there, but he's experienced, and he knows when there's trouble. One of them fellas is not what he says he is.
What is he?
In cahoots with this one, that's what he is. One of them, maybe even two of them, is here to see Domergue goes free. Accomplish that goal, they'll kill everybody in here. A long time in that kind of job. For someone who does that kind of job. He's not without a sense of humor. It's not that he doesn't get it. But there are some things you can get past.
Major Warren was
John
captivating
Ruth.
the crowd
But
with
you
tales
better
of
be-
black dicks and white
You better be
mouths.
careful.
Somebody poisoned the coffee.
He did everything I asked. No blanket.
The name of the chapter that you meet Chris Mannix in is Son of a Gun.
And your weapons to the driver.
Little jumpy, ain't you?
Never mind the jokes, just do it.
You say so. And it's the first thing I read, because you get to that before you get into Chris Mannix speaking, and that says everything there is to say about him. And then over the course of this story, he goes from
I do believe they accused you of being a kill-crazy nigga who only joined the war to kill white folks, and the whole blue and gray all really didn't matter that much to you. And that's why they drummed your black ass out of the cavalry with a yellow stripe down your back. Isn't it?
not to B or C or D or E or F, but he goes all the way to Z for him personally. So I kill Warren, and we all friends. There is a 180-degree exploration of his own worldview that happens amongst the Hateful Eight for Chris Mannix. No deal, tramp.
Called the Hateful Eight. So you got 8 people that are very different, that are very dangerous in their own way, and to varying degrees, hateful.
Major Warren, on the inside of that story, you know, very, very interesting guy. Ex-slave, joins the war, not necessarily, as they say, so concerned about the whole blue and gray of it
all them
all.
burnt bodies at Wellenbeck, seems not all them boys were Revs. Well, you burned up some of your own boys, didn't you, Major?
But, you know, does have a legitimate excuse to kill white people, exact some revenge.
How many burnt prisoners they end up finding? Wasn't the final Yankee death count something like 37?
That's the thing about war, Mannix. People die. And it's gonna be a fun game for audience members to attach to a character. Because everybody's gonna have somebody that says, oh, I love that guy, I love that character.
You know what that sign says, Senor Bob? No dogs or Mexicans allowed. Okay, maybe the moral center, if there is one. Smartest guy in the film. He's solving problems and figuring stuff out. The Minnie hung that sign up the day she opened this haberdashery. And it hung over that bar every day till she took it down a little over 2 years ago. You know why she took it down? She started letting in dogs.
It's a big, wonderful reunion in hell. If we think that hell is this little cabin in the middle of a blizzard, nothing is what it seems.
Shut that door, there's a goddamn blizzard out there!
Close the door!
You gotta nail it shut!
The English guy that they used to parachute into American westerns very occasionally, and he's kind of loosely based on Terry Thomas, I think.
Who won the war? We did, Schofield.
And don't you jolly well forget it. But still, I do admire your pluck.
But he's the hangman who's off to hang some villain in the next town, or maybe he's not. It's all a bit like that, really.
Oh, I'm Oswaldo Mobray.
He's a hangman of Red Rock.
Oh, you are?
Nobody is what they seem. Nothing is what it seems, yeah.
I was excited about trying my hand at a mystery. I didn't do it in a mystery way. Like, apparently the way people do mysteries is they start with the end. They start with how it, who did it and everything, and then they work right backwards to just kind of put everything into place. And I literally didn't want to do that.
Accusing me of murder? Way I see it, Senor Bob, is whoever is working with her ain't who they say they is.
I'm very, very organic about my endings. I don't want to know how it's going to end. And at first arriving at Minnie's, for at least 20, 25 pages, once we arrive at Minnie's, I didn't know who anybody was at Minnie's Haberdashery. Normally, I know almost everything there is to know about the characters, even before I start writing. Then I learn more, but I know about their backstory and stuff. So I might know about Major Warren's reputation. How true that is open to debate.
And if it's you, that means Minnie and her man ain't at her mama's. They laying out back there dead somewhere.
Same thing with John Ruth. I knew his reputation, but he had to reveal himself. And that was, and that was a really interesting, way of working.
I think it's his best screenplay. I just think it's fantastic.
It was hugely thrilling for me because I love Quentin's movies so much. There's really no one like it.
I mean, he writes like it's unlike anybody, and it's the thing is, bad dialogue is really difficult to get your head around.
It's hard to learn because you're reacting against it in your head somewhere. With his stuff, it goes in like silk. It's.
Or her? Put them on.
Oh, I ain't wearing no handcuffs.
You put those on and you can stop worrying about this whole thing right now.
When he told me this is going to be almost like a theater type of process, I want everything to be very sharp and the dialogue to be, perfect by heart, letter by letter, not only word by word.
Delicious. When he gives you a script and you read those speeches, it's just fantastic. You know you're in for a treat.
Murder. For the sake of my analogy, let's just assume that you did it. John Ruth wants to take you back to Red Rock to stand trial for murder. And if you're found guilty, the people of Red Rock will hang you in the town square. And as the hangman, I will perform the execution.
And to be able to say his words and to have him direct you is incredible.
From an actor's perspective, but you have to understand, this is like finding like gold in a river. This is like panning for gold, like in the gold rush days in California.
There's nobody like this guy.
Yeah.
He's in a league of his own, and I think all you guys know that. Every couple of generations or so, somebody comes along who does it not only differently, but does it his or her way in such a way that it's inimitable. When you see 5 frames of anything he does, you know who's doing it.
He's such an actor's director, and I mean, aside from obviously visually, he's spectacular. But as an actor, he's also beyond description. I mean, he's just so. There's an enthusiasm. He truly loves actors, and he's incredibly enthusiastic. And he also makes you feel very free and very safe.
And I really mean this sincerely, and I think all the great actors that are sitting here would agree. I would wish this for every actor, actress, that they have the opportunity to work with Quentin once. It's a fantastic experience, not just in terms of what he does, but it's really more how he does it. It's a circus that you want to be a part of.
And I actually felt that the big format would put you in Minnie's haberdashery. You are in that place. You are amongst those characters. And I thought it would make it more intimate when I got in close with them.
When you see the grain of 70, you see the color of 70, like the wide shot inside the barn and the close-ups of the faces. It's beautiful. We all knew we're gonna tackle this.
The movie is shot in 65 millimeter, then projected in 70 millimeter, with an image twice the size of what you're used to.
But the other thing that I thought would be very, very important is there's always 2 plays going on in this movie. Once you're in Minnie's in particular, there's 2 plays going on at all times. There's the characters that are in the foreground of any given scene, and then there's the characters in the background.
And if you shoot this unarmed old man, I guarantee I will hang you by the neck until you are dead, once we arrive in Red Rock.
Well, we knew that when we were in that room, everybody needed an activity.
Huh.
So no matter where they were shooting, if we were in the room, we knew we were on camera. Ultra Panavision is the widest format there is.
I'm not gonna get 3,000 theaters to convert to 70, even if they wanted to, which they don't. It wouldn't be possible. However, we could do a roadshow version of such, where we go in 100 screens, filtered throughout America in this special roadshow version. Premiere engagements, special tickets. It would be more expensive than the regular movie. You get assigned seating, and then you go in to see the film, and you get a big old program, a big colorful program of the movie you were going to see, and it was a big presentation. That they had back then. You would just go see this one movie and sit down in this, in the huge theaters of whatever the city that it was in. And then there would be oftentimes an overture at the beginning where you'd play the entire soundtrack done in like a Broadway show, overture version of it. And then almost normally the road shows would have intermission that would happen right at in the mid-time. And almost normally there would be about like 10 extra minutes added to the movie that you'd only get to see in the roadshow version.
Last night was amazing. The colours are so rich, the blacks are so black, and yet the film was leaked online. And I wonder for you personally, if you could say anything to the person, imagine they're sitting in front of you right now, the person who uploaded that film, what would you say to them?
I appreciate you trying to give me that opportunity, but I kind of almost don't want to deal with it. I mean, it's like I've tried to put it out of my mind.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
That happened.
The original script for this was leaked online, and until I heard that you, by the way, until I heard that you were rewriting it totally, then I read it and it was great. My question was, did the fact that you had already had a story for this make it difficult to do a total rewrite? And also,
so the thing about it was, what pissed me off about what happened with the leak was the fact that normally I kind of finish a script, and once I'm done with it, I'm ready to go into production. But this was one I kind of wanted to go through 3 drafts. I wanted to get there. I didn't want to have to, there's certain plot threads that were in the first draft that I wasn't quite ready to tie up yet, but I knew I had a couple of drafts to go. So that's why I was a little disconcerted when it got out there. Having said that, though, my process was my process. So even though I yelled and screamed about it, I kind of kept on doing what I planned to do. So what I ended up shooting and was where I was going anyway with it. So that kind of just went on the way it would. It just got more public than I wanted it to get.